And this is episode 15. We're going to do the Week 16 NFL picks today. Going to talk about the games. I haven't actually got a chance to look at the slate yet, but from what I can tell, there's not a lot of super interesting games. There's a few, but not many.
That's even hard pressed to say.
Well, I would say we'll get to them, but
I see. So looking it over, I see 1, 2, 3, maybe 3 games.
I see 4 that are interesting to me.
Maybe 4, but I'm saying 3.
I see 4. So let's jump into them. As you and I were literally just talking about off, I guess, air. I don't know what you'd call this, but before we were recording, there's no more Thursday Night Football. So the Thursday Night Football broadcast, they'll be calling it that, but it'll be on this Saturday. Will be there's 2 games. The first game we have will be the Redskins at the Titans. So this game to me reeks of I'll be doing something else on Saturday other than this, because I just don't care about this game at all. The Titans have all year been uninteresting to me. They've been underwhelming and overwhelming at the same time, like when they destroy New England, but then they lose to bad teams, and I'm just like, I can't do it. I think there's something there, though. They have something there, but they just need a few more pieces, and it could push them a little further. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
I'm not sure Marcus Mariota is the guy. I'm not sure. So I just want to put that out in the ether. I'm not sure. He's not bad. I'm just not sure he's the guy. But Derrick Henry's been awesome lately, so that's a plus for them, right? So
six touchdowns and 400 yards the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's absurd.
Over 400 yards.
Yeah, he's running his ass off. So and it's in Tennessee, so I'm taking Tennessee. I mean, Washington's basically a dead team walking. They've had the worst luck ever with quarterback injuries this year, basically. They're just in injury hell, and yeah.
Yep, I agree. I don't want to talk about the game. I choose the Titans.
Yeah, and I would just like to say though that we had better pray that the Redskins don't win that game, because if they do, they're still in contention for the playoffs, which is insane. But they still are, and if we get a Mark Sanchez Saturday wildcard game with the Redskins in it, there's just no God.
No. Josh Johnson's been starting for him.
Oh yes. I'm sorry, Josh Johnson, which I still don't want to see on wildcard weekend. But you're right, it is Josh Johnson. I forgot about that. He did beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. He did have a comeback win. Shouts to him, but I'm good off that.
Didn't Cody Kessler have 12 yards passing or some ridiculous number like that?
I think it was 50 something or something crazy. They had more.
Amazing.
He had more rushing yards than he had passing. I know that.
Yeah.
So
that's not good.
No. It is certainly not good. So the next game for Saturday night is the first of the 4, in my opinion, interesting games this week. It's the Baltimore Ravens, led by Lamar Jackson, going over across to the West Coast to face off against Phillip Rivers and the LA Chargers.
Yeah, this is my first of what I deem to be 3 of ones worth watching.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, man. It's going to be 2 interesting defenses. Ravens' defense is obviously, I would say they're not much better, but they're obviously clearly better than the Chargers' defense. But they're both they're both good defenses. Lamar Jackson's running his ass off. Phillip Rivers is playing pretty awesome. He's, like we've talked about a few times this year, I feel like if Phillip Rivers wasn't being overshadowed by other guys who were having just mind-blowing years like Mahomes and up until recently Drew Brees, I would say Phillip Rivers has played himself into that conversation for MVP as well. It's just crowded.
All he's got to do is keep going, though. Those guys have been, if another stumble or 2 here or there, and it's a recency bias kind of thing,
Absolutely. If he finishes hot and they, for some reason, if they can win that division, I think that's an argument over Mahomes. I really do. And then Brees, like I said, I think Brees is out of it. Personally, I think he's out of it with the way he's played it. And if it continues these last 2 weeks, he's definitively out of it because he's been pretty bad. He's not. I won't say he's been bad, but he's not been great the last 3 weeks. So
yeah. Well, I'll tell you something about Drew Brees. Him and Kai Forbath cost me my fantasy football
Me too, but we'll get to that in a little while. But I also lost my championship fantasy game. I was in the championship. I lost because of him and Michael Thomas. And it's actually because their offensive line, because every pass that Thomas called back by holding. So we'll get to that because we'll get to him. But yeah, Raven. And by the way, we should mention it's come out that Joe Flacco will likely not be with this team next year.
He gone.
Yeah. I think it's the right move. I'm not sure Lamar Jackson's like a good overall quarterback, like a great quarterback, but like it's just time, man. I honestly think so. You know.
Well, the way to look at it is this way, right? So Flacco's not going to be playing a whole bunch more years,
right?
You may as well get Jackson as much experience as you can since he's on a rookie deal, right?
Yeah, transition.
So he's right. So he's inexpensive. They can trade Flacco to somewhere he'd like to go and save themselves $16 million in cap. I'm sure there's somebody out there that would take Flacco. Yeah, he's not a terrible quarterback. I mean, he's not the Flacco of old, but
no, but he's absolutely serviceable for sure. Like, and here's the thing too, building off what you said, with Lamar Jackson on that rookie deal, now's the time for the Ravens to try to reload this offseason and try to win more games because they're pretty good this year. And with that defense, if they can bring all those guys back, I'm not sure what everyone's contract situation is, but with that defense, how it's playing, excuse me, Lamar Jackson on a rookie deal, that's how teams win Super Bowls. We saw it with Seattle. You know what I mean? Like we saw it with Denver. Yep. So, except Denver, he wasn't on a rookie deal, but you know what I mean?
He was on a team friendly.
Yeah.
With lots of other defensive players that were on rookie deals.
Exactly. So that's 100% my point. So the Ravens are making and I mean Jim Harbaugh saved his job, I think, with this because there was talk for a while there with when Flacco was still playing and they were on a little bit of a 3 or 4 game losing slide that Harbaugh might be out, and I think he saved his job at least for another year, personally.
Flacco.
Yeah. So, but I'm all this talk aside because I just wanted to mention the Ravens situation going forward because it's kind of newsworthy, the whole Flacco thing. I'm taking the Chargers at home. I think that they're playing at an all-time awesome level right now for them, and I want the mojo to continue because, and we'll get to this a little bit later. But I'm not so sure I believe in the Patriots anymore, which is obviously I'm a fan, to be a contender this year. And so I'm still rooting for New England, but once they do lose, because I do envision them losing in the playoffs, I'm Chargers all the way this year. That's who I want to win it all. So I'm going Chargers.
Yeah, I picked the Chargers too. I think the Chargers defense is good enough, and they've got enough speed guys. All you got to do all you got to do is have Derwin James run around and chase Lamar Jackson, and he's not going to get away.
No, Derwin James is sick. They got Bosa, who's playing pretty well. Dude, I love that. I love that team. There's so many guys on that roster I like, and they've been doing it without Melvin Gordon, too, who I'm not sure if they might get him back for this game. I'm not sure.
Well, he didn't practice today.
Oh, so. He didn't? Okay, and it is Wednesday right now as we record this, so yeah, they might not get him back this week, but he should be right for the playoffs, I'm sure. So
yeah, he's getting there, but I just hope the Chargers don't charge like they always do.
Hey, I think they've had plenty of opportunities to do that this year, and they've actually done the opposite. You know what I mean? Like that Pittsburgh game, they came back. Like, I don't know, man. They've impressed me this year. I feel like they've really made a jump, and Anthony Lynn hasn't shot him in the foot either, because I don't think he's a great coach per se, but, I mean, he's coaching well this year. They're winning, so what do I know? I don't know.
I don't know. The Steelers are no longer my measuring stick because the Raiders beat the Steelers.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to say anything about them, even though I think they're a bad team. They beat us, so I'm not sure we're a good team. So I don't know what that says about the Steelers either way. But yeah, they're not a measuring stick, I don't think, either this year. So all right, so we're both taking the Titans and the Chargers for Saturday. So we're going to move to Sunday. What's the first game you've got?
Bengals-Browns.
Bengals-Browns. Not a lot to talk about in this one for me. Jeff Driscoll is okay. He's cool. He's whatever. He's not good. I mean, I'm not trying to crap on the guy, but I don't like Jeff Driscoll. I don't like that roster. I don't like Marvin Lewis. But you know what I do like is Baker Mayfield. So
how you feeling? I'm feeling dangerous.
I woke up feeling dangerous. That is one of the coolest things I've ever heard from like a quarterback. Because those guys are always like, yeah, execution. Got to do better in the red area.
Right.
Got to do this, got to do that. And he's like, well, go feeling dangerous. Like, he kind of reminds me of low-key, a not dick version, and also not an idiot version of Johnny Manziel, personality-wise. Does that kind of make sense? Like, he's got, like, that swagger and, like, that, like, cowboyishness to him.
He reminds me of Brett Favre, dude.
See, that's a better example. I'm just pulling something that's, like, more recent in my head, but that's a way better example. He does kind of remind me of Brett Favre.
He's a little wild, makes a few what the hell throws.
Yeah,
but keeps players alive, and he can.
Dude, everybody
he can freaking wing it, dude.
He can't. He's awesome. And by the way, and there was someone, a writer. I wish I could remember his name, but I retweeted it this week. There was a dude who writes for PFF, Pro Football Focus, who tweeted out this link to his story and also like a Twitter video along with it, and it was like Baker Mayfield is like disgustingly accurate, and like I was watching some of the throws that more closely than I have seen. He's very accurate, dude, and I'm talking like on out route throws, on the back shoulder throws, and like deep ball. Like, dude, he's good. He's really good.
Well, like, here's there's probably
better,
nobody listening to this, and the people that are probably know a decent amount about football already. But one thing that a lot of just average people that kind of sit around at the bar and watch football because their team's playing football don't realize is that there's a lot of throws that quarterbacks in general make that look like they're bad throws, but they're intended to force the receiver to stop and not get crushed. Or, there's a few. What game was I watching? I am not going to go on this big, long, mind-bending journey, but I was watching a game this weekend. I don't remember what game it was. Receiver was running an in. And so he goes down about 9 yards, cuts in, he starts screaming this way. Well, the quarterback, and I don't remember who it was either, not relevant, threw the ball so that the receiver would basically have to, stop.
Oh, I remember this.
When he stopped, he's like, that must mean that there's somebody coming from the inside, and I will just spin back to the outside. And he did. He spun around for the outside and ran for another 15, 16 yards.
That sounds
and
familiar.
If the quarterback would have thrown it how I would have in elementary school,
or how you do it in Madden, he would have got crushed.
He would have, maybe he wouldn't get crushed, but he wasn't going to get any yards after the catch. He'd be done.
Was it? Damn it! This sounds familiar, like this play, because I think it was a Fox game, because I think I remember Joe Buck or Troy Aikman talking about that play where he was it Goff?
No, I didn't watch that game. Actually, now that I think about it, I think it was Carr throwing to Jordy Nelson, and I was like, "Oh my God, that's a terrible throw." And then I watched the replay, and I was like, "Ooh, actually, that was kind of smart."
Well, maybe it was, but I'm remembering a play last week that happened that was exactly like that. Yeah, it might have been Andrew Luck, actually. It was Luck because it was a Fox game.
But that's a thing, That's a thing that a lot of people don't understand is that quarterbacks, what we may perceive to be a bad throw, may actually be exactly where they wanted the ball to go.
And also,
you don't always know just because it doesn't hit the guy in stride right smack in the hands, because everybody's like, oh, you should have hit him in the numbers. No, don't hit him in the numbers, because then they won't use their hands to catch the damn ball, and they'll bounce off their pads, and then everybody gets pissed off about that.
Yeah.
You want it so they've got to reach out and attack the ball.
Exactly. No, I definitely.
Anyways, hey, you know what? We're on this terribly long tangent for a game that nobody cares about.
Yeah, it's Browns for me.
Yeah, I picked the Browns too. I will pick the Browns. I don't care who they're playing. I'm picking them the rest of the year.
Yeah, I'm picking them a lot next year.
I got a feeling they can make stuff happen, make the magic happen. And then I'm going to root for a Titans and Colts tie at the end of the year, and the Browns win everything, and all the other 76 things that have to happen for them to make the playoffs. Anyways.
It would be awesome.
Next game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
In Dallas.
Don't care about this game either. I'm picking Cowboys. I could see Jameis maybe coming in and just going off weirdly, just because Tampa Bay's. Did you know they're still the highest rated passing offense in the league? Tampa Bay. It's crazy. But
that's all they can do is throw the ball, but they can't stop anybody, so they're always behind, so they're always throwing the ball even more.
Yeah, and then all they can do running it is if Winston scrambles, or they got Peyton Barber, who's not really that good. So like you said, that's all they can do. But we should say Dallas got smacked. They got shut out for the first time since '94.
It's been a long time.
I'm trying to figure it out.
They
I'm
went
sorry.
for it.
I'm sorry.
So they had a field goal blocked.
It was 2003.
They went for it on 4th and 1 on like the 5 and got stuffed.
Yeah, it was. By the way, sorry, it was 2003. I don't know why I saw 94, but yeah, that's still 15 years. That's a long time. So
yeah,
they got shut out by the Colts. But I just think they had a bad week. I think they're a good team still. I'm not sure they're a great team, but I say that a lot about all these teams because I don't know how to. I'm not sure New England's a good team anymore. But yeah, I gotta take Dallas. It's at home, and I have a feeling that defense is gonna gain some of their mojo back, being back at Jerry World, and just like, all right, that last week we're brushing it off, and we're gonna take it out on Jameis Winston. So
yeah, I'm taking the Cowboys only because they're playing in Dallas. If they were playing Tampa Bay, I wouldn't be surprised if Tampa Bay would win. But whatever. Next game, another game I don't. Anyways, that is not so far. We've only hit one of my quote unquote 3 games that I think might. Well, actually, the Browns Bengals one is going to be interesting only because I want to watch Baker. But
yeah, but overall the game won't be interesting. It'll just be interesting to watch him play. Like that's yeah, and I agree. I agree. So let's go to Vikings Lions. Don't really care about this game either. Neither of these teams are really going anywhere impressive. I'm taking Minnesota. I'm not going to even talk about this game that long. I'm taking Minnesota because I took Miami against them last week, and then they showed me up by beating their ass. Yeah, Minnesota, I don't know. Out of both these teams who are both bipolar, and I can't trust either of them, I guess I trust Minnesota a little more. Just because they have more talent, so that should prevail.
Yeah, the Lions are just bad. And they put Kerryon Johnson on IR today.
Yeah, I saw that.
So yeah, I'm taking Vikings, and I am not discussing this at all. So we will move along to the Bills at the New England being wicked hot chowder Patriots.
What do you want to say about this game? Because I don't even want to talk about this game.
It's just going to be boring. It's going to be a boring, terrible, bad game.
I don't know, man.
I think New England. I think New England's angry, and I think they'll come out and probably win by about 17.
Part of me thinks that, but also part of me at this point is like, well, we're not.
Josh Allen runs for 150 yards and throws for 200 and scores 4 touchdowns.
and I'm not kidding. That's a recipe that would beat us right now. Like a scrambling quarterback. I'm not even kidding. Is a recipe that could beat us. So with the way.
Since you're a Patriot fan, you know more about this than I do because I have not been following it. But how's Chung's? What was it? His arm, his shoulder, whatever he got hurt during that game. Towards the end of the game last week.
He continued to play. I think he's all right. So
yeah, every time he went down though, he would kind of lay there like, oh Jesus, I got to get back up again.
Yeah,
it was like his shoulder or
he's
elbow
been playing hurt all
something.
year though. I mean, he had a concussion at the beginning of the year. He's had some stuff all year, so he's kind of like that. The dude plays through injuries and stuff though. But yeah, I'm sure he'll play. I think he'll play. But even if he doesn't, it's all right because we've got Daron Harmon who is awesome, and I love Daron Harmon. So. But I think Chung's okay. He's gonna be playing hurt, but that's he kind of almost always is. Yeah, man. I don't know. It's a team high since like I don't remember how long it's been, but they had a team high like the most penalties committed in like a few years. I'm talking about New England. I'm sorry. They've also this is the first time they've lost back-to-back games in December since like 2005, I think, whatever year. Maybe it was 2008. I think it was 2005. It was one of those 2 years, but it's been at least 10 years, if not more. Yeah, man. New England's not good, and I'm here to tell everyone right now, they're not going to the Super Bowl. So. That's dead. That's off because it ain't happening. They're not a good team, and when you take a bad roster that's like been plugging holes by like a Hall of Fame quarterback and a Hall of Fame coach, and you cover that up with, well, when you start to lose guys to injury, and also when you just shoot yourself in the foot with penalties and undisciplined. Like all this crazy stuff, like what they did to end halftime when Tom Brady screwed up right before halftime against Miami 2 weeks ago, and they came away in the red zone with no points off a block punt. They had no points because Tom Brady took a sack. that ran out the clock. These are just the kind of things that prove you're not really that good of a team this year, and I just don't see it, man. I don't see it there, and I'm not being overcritical because I'm a Patriot fan. I'm just being realistic because they're not that good of a team. They're so they've gotten their ass beat several times on the road this year, which, by the way, is telling too because they've lost to Pittsburgh on the road, they've lost to Tennessee on the road, Detroit on the road, Miami on the road. That was the other team. So these aren't.
Although, all that being
beaters.
said, they should not have lost that game. That was a fluke game.
Who Miami?
Yeah,
But that's my point. That the undisciplined, absent-mindedness is what lost them that game, and that's what I'm saying. If Tom Brady hadn't choked with the whole, I thought we had a timeout and I should have thrown the ball away right before halftime of that Dolphin game, they would have had an extra at least 3 points, and then it wouldn't have maybe mattered.
Right.
So, that's the type of stuff that builds up, and it's always like, well, so-and-so gave up 40 points. Well, you know what? There's a million other things that should have happened. Like, for example, if you go back, I gotta get off this game because I can't stand this team right now. I'm just
trying to figure out when the last time the Patriots were 9-5.
Probably 5 losses. Probably the year he tore his ACL when they went 11-5 with Castle, if I had to guess. By the way, we still don't, as of weeks 15 being over, New England is still not in the playoffs clinched yet, by the way, because Miami. So, but yeah, man, I just don't see it with this team. I'm taking New England here against Buffalo because they should beat them, and like you said, they should be pissed off from having a bad few weeks here. But I don't know what to think anymore. So. Well, they got Bills and Jets to end the year, so maybe they'll get a little right going into January. So we'll see. So, sorry, I just wanted to talk about that. Like you said, maybe no one's even listening, but I just wanted to. I had to just say that because put it out in the ether of this team is so underwhelming, and when you start to shoot yourself in the foot, because that's the one thing that's been underappreciated and undervalued about New England for so long is they don't beat themselves. But when you start to beat yourself, there's nothing that this team can do to win because. They're already not the most talented world beater, you know what I mean? They're really not. Gronk moves like he's Antonio Gates now, which is crazy. He's done. I'm sorry. I gotta get off this game. Next game, what is it?
You're right, though, just so you know. They started out 7-5, then went 8-5, 9-5, 10-5, 11-5 with Castle.
Yeah.
So, anyways, let's get off that game. Next game is so there's rumors swirling that Joe Philbin's going to sit Rodgers down for the rest of the year since there's no reason for him to play.
They should. They just put Aaron Jones on IR. They should.
Yeah, Rodgers says, "Hell no, I want to play." So if Rodgers plays,
kneecap him in the parking lot. That's what I say.
Yeah, so it's Packers at Jets. If Rodgers plays, I'm picking the Packers. If Rodgers doesn't play, I'm picking the Jets by 20 because DeShone Kizer is 0-13 in his career.
He's bad. But guess what? Either way, whoever plays, I'm taking the Jets anyway. Sam Darnold's showing me some stuff, and that defense choked a little bit at the end again on last Saturday against Houston to DeAndre Hopkins. But Sam Darnold's showing me some stuff for real, and he's I haven't used this word yet, and we're almost 20.
Frisky.
He's frisky, man. They're not a good team, but this is the kind of game where Packers have nothing to play for. So they're demoralized, and if they do sit Aaron Rodgers, it's definitely not going to be a win. So I'm taking the Jets at home.
I got you. I'm taking the Packers if Rodgers plays. I don't really know, so it's kind of hard to make this decision on a Wednesday. But I'm going to say Packers for now. If I find out that Kaiser's starting, then I'm instantly switching my pick to the Jets.
Right.
So,
and that's fair.
That's how that goes.
I feel like you can change your pick up until the game kicks off, and then once it kicks off,
yeah. I mean, what happens if you're going to pick? I don't know. What's a game that's kind of like a no-brainer, right? Like the Chargers, right? Say you're going to pick the Chargers, and then
49ers.
On Phillip Rivers' hour and a half or hour and 45-minute commute to the stadium, gets in a car wreck and breaks his right pinky or something,
Jesus. Or I guess, yeah, I thought you were going with stuck in traffic, but we had to escalate to car accidents.
Well, because it's the only surefire way to know that he's not going to play. Because you could totally charter a helicopter to get him to the game.
Rivers. Well, you picked the bad example then, because Philip Rivers played in the playoffs in a torn ACL, so he's playing with a broken pinky. All right.
Yeah, but you can brace up an ACL and hobble around on one leg. You can't throw with a broken pinky.
Tape that shit to your index finger or your ring finger, and he's throwing it, man.
Nope. Anyways, let's move along.
Texans at Eagles. I didn't watch the Sunday night game, the Rams-Eagles, because I can't bring myself to give at all a crap about the Eagles this year.
I tried to watch it on DirecTV. DirecTV has on Sunday Ticket, because Sunday Ticket has this thing where if it was a Sunday Ticket game,
because it got flexed, right?
Huh?
Because it got flexed, right?
Yeah. So it ended up being the Sunday night game, and that is not a DirecTV Sunday Ticket game now.
Right.
So you go to watch it, and it goes, "This is not on the Sunday Ticket package." And I was like, "Dang it! That's the only actual game from that week that I actually wanted to see that I didn't see."
Yeah. Well, I didn't see it, but Eagles won, and it was Nick Foles, so he's the starter.
That guy kills me.
I don't know, man. He can burn hell for all I care. I'm sorry. Anyway, I hate Nick Foles so much. I'll never forgive him for what he did to me. But
what did he do to you?
Huh?
What did he do to you?
He beat the Patriots when we shouldn't have lost that game. I don't want to talk about it. But anyway, honestly, we didn't deserve to win. We didn't play well enough on defense, and also the whole Malcolm Butler thing, and yeah.
Who are you going to pick in this game, dude? This is
I'm picking Houston, bro. DeAndre Hopkins is playing awesome right now, all pro level, and Watson's look good, and Watt is look good. I'm taking Houston, and I would not be surprised if Philly has a little mojo now, and after beating the Rams and plays well here. But I just think as long as Houston doesn't like lay an egg, I think they're like. But they're a team also that scares me because at any point they could just have a really crappy game. You know what I mean?
Well, and I remember you and I were talking the other day about this. I actually don't think Lamar Miller is going to play.
Yeah,
they did get Dante Foreman back a couple weeks ago, but he's been not on the day game. He's been inactive on the games.
Right.
But he hasn't played since last year when he tore his Achilles.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see how he looks too.
Yeah, if he's like the Dante Foreman of old, then he's just gonna he's capable of running people over. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm taking the Eagles only because they're playing in Philly, and the fans will give them a bunch of crap, and I don't know.
Yeah, I could see it, but I like too much. I like too many things about the way Houston's playing right now, so I'm just gonna go with the hotter team in my opinion. So.
Yeah,
I mean that's a 50-50 game, honestly, because Houston could just show up and be like,
yeah, that's a game I might actually start watching.
What time is it at? 1? Nah, I gotta watch Patriots, so I can't. But I'll check in on Red Zone on it though.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Falcons Panthers. Panthers.
Cam Newton-less Panthers.
Huh?
Newton's done for the year. They're sitting him.
When was this? I didn't hear about this.
3 hours ago or so.
Oh, why?
His shoulder, dude. His shoulder's been messed up all year long.
Yeah. You're right. Okay, that makes sense.
And they're like, we don't have anything to do now. We may as well just sit the dude down. So it's gonna be Taylor, whatever. Heineken.
Taylor Heineke. He used to be on. Did you know this? You don't know this. He actually apparently was on the Patriots practice squad and used to burn that defense up. Apparently, like he used to like smoke those dudes. Like that's actually a real thing. I didn't know that. This was like 3 years ago, I think. But yeah, it was a thing. So Falcons here. If that's the case, I was actually going to take the Panthers, but I mean obviously I was at work, so that if it was 2 hours ago, it looks like because I'm looking at the things. It was like the latest one's like 3 hours ago. I think it was first reported by ESPN, but that could be wrong. But yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Rap Sheet's got it. It's all around Twitterverse.
Oh yeah, see, you're breaking news to me on the pod. Look at you, insider, NFL insider, Mike. Yeah, I'm taking the Falcons in because Julio's been balling lately, and
Julio's hurt, may not play.
Yeah, he did get hurt. That's that. See, damn it, I forgot about that too, and. He got hurt right before halftime.
But all that being said, they still have Calvin Ridley. They still have Sanu. They still have. They've got a lot of weapons.
Kevin Coleman, who by the way, he had like a 60 or 70 yarder touchdown. That, in addition to all the other stuff he did on Sunday against who they play.
Yeah, let's not talk about that because he's on my fantasy team and he was on my bench because he was projected to get 4 points.
Yeah, dude, Tevin Coleman's sick. He's good. Like he's
but he's never scored more than like 6.5 points
because they never give him the ball. Because they
I know.
Yeah, that's the reason why dude is sick. Like he's gonna go somewhere, or he might just be like the lead back next year in Atlanta. But he's gonna eventually get his own workload, and he's gonna show people, hey, I'm here because he's really good. So I'm taking Atlanta.
Yeah, I took Atlanta too. If the Panthers don't have Newton, now watch. Dude's gonna come out and torch the Falcons defense. But whatever, I'm taking the Falcons.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about this next game. I think it's rather obvious what's going to happen.
New York Giants at the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, I mean you can talk about it if you want to, but
I'm locked in on the Colts as being aside from Baltimore, the Colts being one of the more frisky teams. There it is again, frisky. I gotta have a frisky counter, but hold on real quick. They are one of the more frisky teams in the AFC playoff race, and they're a team I wouldn't want to see because they're dangerous, man. They're if Andrew Luck and T.Y. Hilton, who's kind of banged up, but he should be okay. If they're both like on that day, dude, they're hard to stop.
So who do you think are a couple of the leading rookie defensive player of the year candidates?
It's Darius Leonard.
Yeah, he didn't even make the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, because the Pro Bowling is a joke, but Pro Bowl voting. I said Pro Bowling.
Well,
it's a joke,
because the reason why is they like Khalil Mack, linebacker.
Yeah.
Right. And since
dude, they got
the Colts. Well, the Colts run a 3-4, so Darius Leonard is weak side linebacker. Well, he's not a pass rusher. So even though he's like,
it's a joke.
And Leighton Vander Esch, same thing. He didn't make it either because he's a weak side 3-4 linebacker.
Dude, honestly, I'm not even kidding anymore. Like, and the NBA is starting to make this a little bit better with like some of the different things they've been doing with the All-Star game. But like, all these leagues gotta like, especially in NFL, they gotta redo this whole Pro Bowl thing. Like, they're stuck in like football in like 2001. It's not like that anymore. There's all these dudes are hybrids for like a bunch of different things. Like, they gotta change it. They gotta be like pick 16 guys for offense and 16 dudes for defense because they're gonna be interchangeable and they're gonna give everyone different looks and they're gonna rotate guys and sub dudes in and out, and like there can be 6 DBs that deserve to be on the Pro Bowl starting defense. They just obviously can't all play at once, but you know what I mean? Like, they got to do stuff like that.
Well, so this is what they really need to do, right? Because defense, oh boy, here we go. Defense is either like a 4-3 or 3-4, right? Legacy-wise, that's how it's been.
Right.
But it's really not anymore. Now it's like 2 big dudes and some edge guys, whether it's a 3-4 with
and a bunch of corners and deep in safeties, because it's
right.
League.
So you always are going to need the Darius Leonards and the Leighton Vander Esch's and all those weak side linebackers are really just an outside linebacker in a 4-3.
Right.
But they're calling it a weak side linebacker, then not an inside linebacker. So there's some teams that actually tried getting around that by listing players as inside linebackers, even though they're not, because they don't have an inside linebacker in the scheme they run. But yeah, but luckily what'll happen is the All-Pro voting is different than Pro Bowl. Pro Bowl is like the fans and the players and all that stuff. The All-Pro is who is the man. But anyways, we have digressed.
But back to Darius Leonard, I just want to say he's awesome, and I'm glad you brought him up because he deserves to be brought up, even if it's just me and you talking to ourselves basically. But Chris Wessling from the Around the NFL podcast has been tooting his horn about the Colts all year because they've been pretty good, and B, he's been talking about Darius Leonard for several weeks now. So that's how I knew that, because I didn't know because I haven't been watching Colts games too closely, but that's the reason I knew that right away, is because I knew A, we were talking about the Colts, and B, he's awesome. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
so we're both taking the Colts, by the way, right?
Yeah. So I mean, between him and Leighton Vander Esch, Sean Lee's healthy now.
Yeah, but
and Vander Esch is still starting it. And Sean Lee's like, hey, he's playing better than me.
Yeah. What do you want me to do? Like,
he's like, I'm not going to complain about it. Let the dude play. So yeah, we're both taking the Colts. Let's tally ho on to the Oh, Jesus.
All right, let's just pick the game and not even talk about it. It's the Battle of Florida. Hopefully,
Dolphins.
this is when the actual state does sink, is during the game, hopefully at 1 o'clock Eastern time.
Sinkhole would be awesome right about
Yeah, because this, I know you haven't seen it because you're not into superhero movies, but shout out to the 6 years ago, The Dark Knight Rises, when Heinz Field actually collapsed and Bane came out from it, which I know you think sounds crazy. I'm going to send you the YouTube link to watch just that clip because it's insane, and you wouldn't even believe it if you saw it. But it's funny, too, because it's Gotham, but the actual Pittsburgh Steelers, like Roethlisberger and all them, are like playing as Gotham's team, and it's still black and yellow, which is funny. And you see them all on the sideline too. I have to show you this scene because you'll think this is hilarious.
We've already spent too much time on this game.
Well, no, I'm talking about the Batman. Screw this game. Anyway, and the whole thing comes out, or whole thing collapses, like the field. That needs to happen for this game. I'm taking the Jaguars.
It is entered, so it shall be. I don't even want to talk about this next game either.
I'm taking Miami. I'm sorry. I'm taking Miami. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm taking Miami. What's the next game? Oh, yeah. Rams at Cardinals. Okay, so anyway, the Dark Knight Rises. I'm just kidding. I need that to happen for this game, too. I'm taking the Rams. I don't care about the Cardinals at all. I don't think Steve Wilkes is a good coach, and the Rams will bounce back mightily, and they will right the universe.
Damn it!
What?
Oh, I was hoping the Cardinals had a winnable game between this game and the next game.
Oh,
and they don't.
For the pick for the Raiders for the draft.
Yeah, because we're picking number 2. If they lose, then we're number 1.
Yeah, and you guys, by the way,
although strength of schedule can change, but.
Yeah, well, don't worry. You guys are going to win Monday night anyway, but we'll get to that.
So, yeah, I got the Rams. There's no way. Well, I say no way. There was no way the Cardinals were going to beat the freaking Packers in.
There was no way the Niners were going to beat the Seahawks, and then they
did.
Yeah. By the way, did you know Nick Mullins has thrown for almost 900 or something yards against the Seahawks combined with both the games he's played against them this year?
Not surprising. The Seahawks do not have as good a secondary as people think they do.
No, they don't. But he torched them. I wish I could find.
He torched us.
Oh, Nathan Peterman has signed with the Raiders.
Yep, practice squad.
Yep. Anyway, Bears Niners. I don't know for sure if the Niners can be trusted to be competitive, but I'm taking the Bears because I don't really believe in this Niners team the way that they're presently constructed. Even though George Kittle is the new Rob Gronkowski. I will say that. Not really, but he's awesome. He's awesome, though. Yeah, I don't know. Trubisky's fun to watch when he's not throwing picks because he's dangerous with his legs. He's kind of like a slightly better Josh Allen, which, isn't much, but, Trubisky's cool. By the way, I think I'm going to do a deep dive today, now that we're talking about this, if I remember to. I want to watch Mitchell Trubisky highlights on YouTube, but just throws, not the running. I want to see if I actually think he's any good, because I don't know. I haven't made up my mind, and I haven't watched closely enough to decide, so I'm going to check that out today, because I want to have a real opinion on him, other than just what I've seen from afar and when we played him this year. But I'm taking the Bears, so.
Yeah, I take the Bears, too. So a couple notes real quick. Aaron Rodgers says he's playing Sunday. He goes, I don't care if we're winning or if we're going to the playoffs or not. He goes, I'm not going to be a leader unless I'm playing. I'm super competitive. I'm playing. So apparently Rodgers are playing. The Panthers did not put Cam Newton on injured reserve. They are adding a quarterback. Taylor Heineke will be the starter, but he won't be playing again this year. The Nathan Peterman practice squad thing, that everybody thinks the people inside, this is just a little news break. The people on the inside think the reason why they signed him was because then they get the option to keep him next year when the 90-man rosters are there. And maybe wheel and deal and...
Trade Carr?
No, they're not trading Carr.
It's going to happen, I'm telling you.
No, it's not. They're not trading Carr, dude. John Gruden has been praising Derek Carr the last 2 weeks about our O-line is complete suckage. We're on our 5th left guard. Like all of our... don't even get me started.
By the way, I want to say that... we both had 3 games, or was it? I thought I had 4. Anyway, moving on. We both took the Bears, right?
Yep.
This is the second of basically 3 watchable games this week. It's Steelers.
It's my third.
What was your second?
Bengals Browns.
Oh, right, because of Mayfield. So that don't count. You just want to watch Mayfield.
Because it might. Dude, it's gonna be an entertaining game. Entertaining as hell.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but unless that Browns defense just shut Driscoll down, then that won't be that fun. If Driscoll can get off a little, that would be fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and actually, my second entertaining game was Texans Eagles. I've been messing with you. I got Ravens Chargers, Texans Eagles, and this game are my 3 relatively interesting games. The next game might be kind of interesting.
The next one is also interesting to me, but let's focus on this one real quick because we gotta do this. Steelers at Saints. Drew Brees has not played well the last 3 weeks, basically. You and I have both apparently lost fantasy football. I lost the championship game because him and Michael Thomas couldn't play how they were the first 10 weeks. So
I didn't lose a championship game. I was in the second round of the playoff. I had a bye week the first week.
Yeah, see, I'm in a smaller league than most people are because everyone's like, hey, you're in your second round of the playoffs. I'm like, actually, I'm in the championship because we had a smaller league that I'm in. But, which, by the way, is kind of overrated. I like the bigger leagues with more because it's also harder to have good rosters. Like I have. This is just a little side note. I have DeAndre Hopkins, Julio Jones, and Michael Thomas. Like I shouldn't have 3 of the top 10 receivers in football on my team. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't make sense.
We've got a huge league, but our league is different. So you can play. So you get a quarterback, a running back, a wide receiver, 3 flexes, an offensive player, and a kicker, and that's it. So, like, I've got Drew Brees, Gurley, Tyreek Hill, J.J. Smith-Schuster, Calvin Ridley, Jared Cook, Derek Carr, Justin Tucker, Tevin Coleman, Jordy Nelson, Nehemiah Hines, and Marcel Aitman because I was running out of players because all my players kept getting hurt.
Naheem.
I like calling him Nehemiah because he reminds me of Ronaldo Nehemiah from the 49ers. Track star hurdles.
Oh, Whoop. God. Anyway.
So yeah, my game was caused by Kai Forbath got me 20 or got my opposing team person. My opponent got him 27 points.
That's okay.
Because all he did was kick field goals.
Yeah, he really did last week. But that's
and then Drew Brees got me 6 when he normally gets me about 30.
Yeah, well and we're gonna get to this game now, but I do want to say, Julio Jones got me 20 something. DeAndre Hopkins had me 39, and nobody else got me over 10. Not quarterback, not anybody. Nobody else got me over 10 points. So that's why I lost. So, I like how we said this game was interesting and we haven't really talked about it. But
it's not. I don't know that it's going to be interesting.
So who are you taking then? Who are you taking?
I'm taking the Saints.
Oh, see, I'm taking the Steelers.
Saints? The Saints are 12. The Saints are 12-2. I watched a whole Steelers game, and if you can apply the least bit of pressure and or coverage, and New Orleans has got some guys that can do coverage, and they have a couple guys that can rush too. And there's a rumor James Conner's coming back. It says likely to play, but he didn't practice. So
I mean, shoot, they don't really need him. Jalen Samuels toasted New England.
Yeah, I get that, but it still says right here, Pittsburgh Steelers league ranks rushing 30th.
Oh yeah. Well, no, that's true. But also, I just want to point out that apparently. So wait, what were you going to say? If the Saints can get a little bit of pressure, what were you going to say?
If they can get a little pressure or have some decent coverage. I mean, the freaking Raiders beat the Steelers, and the Raiders are not a juggernaut by any stretch. But what the Raiders could do is they were really good in coverage.
Yeah, well,
until Conley got knocked out. But
right. Well, I don't know. I feel like the Steelers apparently have 3 Pro Bowl offensive linemen this year, which okay. So I don't know.
Yeah, well, I declare shenanigans on that because the number one ranked center in all of football, number 1 pass blocking center, and number 2 run blocking center in all of football, according to PFF.
David Andrews.
No, is Rodney Hudson.
Damn it.
And he's not even an alternate.
God damn it. Yeah, no, I know. It like we said, Pro Bowl is a joke, but it really is, and it's not even watchable. So who gives a shit anyway?
Well, here's the funny thing about the Pro Bowl. Since we're discussing that real quick, and we still got 5 minutes, and there's only 2 crappy games to talk about.
1 good game.
Yeah, maybe.
But
anyways, I want to say something about the Pro Bowl. So everybody's like, "Oh, the Chargers play in a stadium that only holds 30,000 people at the StubHub Center, and it's always like playing an away game, and they got no fans or anything else,
and no X-ray machines."
The Pro Bowl vote is fans, players, and some random reporter dudes. And do you know that the Chargers have more Pro Bowl people than any other team?
The Chargers do?
Yeah, they have like 7 guys that got voted to the Pro Bowl.
That makes sense on one level.
Well, no, it's my commentary on how the Chargers have no fans. The Chargers have fans, they just don't live in friggin' LA.
Yeah, they're all in San Diego, where they moved away from because that team, they still follow that team because they still care, and they're not there.
And I've got like half the people I went to school with, and dude, I know tons of fans. Like, I know more Charger fans personally than I know Raider fans, or any other football team for that matter.
Hell, I'm a closeted Charger fan. I love Phillip Rivers, and Keenan Allen's.
No, but I mean, literally, like, I literally know. I've been a Raider fan since I was 9, so that's like almost 40 years now.
Right.
God, I'm old. But I know more Charger fans than I know Raider fans.
Yeah, no, I know, and I'm not even kidding. Had I not watched Brady and them come back on the Rams in 2001 in that Super Bowl. And, like, I just, maybe, like, I don't know.
They never should have been there.
Huh?
They never should have been there.
Hey, it was the right call. Not my fault. The rule was the rule.
Oh, shenanigans.
But I honestly, like, if I had to...
You got the Steelers.
Huh?
I said, I got the Saints. You got the Steelers. You keep talking. I just want to make sure I noted who you picked.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, like, I don't know, man. I think, like... If I were, like, because I see these posts on, like, I mean, I did it this year with baseball, trying to find a team, and actually, me and you both did it, and we kind of found the Brewers, who almost were a few games away from making the World Series, which is pretty crazy. But if I were like, hey, like, what am I looking for in a new team? If I'm going to start watching the NFL, who should I root for? I don't have any allegiances at all. I think I'd pick right now the Chargers. I really do, because they're fun, they're interesting, and I like a lot of the guys on that team. I love Keenan Allen. I think he's sick. Melvin Gordon's a beast. They got Derwin James. They got Joey Bosa. They got what's Ingram? What's his name? Melvin. Melvin Ingram is sick. They got dude.
Yeah, they're the team with 2 Melvins.
Yeah. I know, which is funny, right? I saw a tweet about that a few weeks ago, which is really funny too, because like 2 dudes named Melvin, which is like, I don't know, it's weird.
If I had to pick a team, if I was going to change allegiances or just got into this whole shenanigans, and I was going to pick a team,
say you had only watched football this year, but you had watched just a bunch of random games, and you were still trying to decide on what team you would pick. So you don't know anything prior to this year, and maybe some stuff you've heard, but like overall, you don't know. New England? Sorry.
No, I'm not a bandwagoner. No, I would probably.
Shit, they
honestly
suck now. Now's the time to hop on when they're trash.
I would
probably the Rams, huh?
Either the Browns.
Yeah, Baker's nice. I love. He's just cool. It would be fun to root for him.
Well, so the reason, it'd probably be the Browns, the Rams, or the Bears.
That checks out.
And here's the reasons why. The Browns, because Baker Mayfield kills me, dude.
He's awesome.
I love the dude. Yeah.
Did you watch Hard Knocks, by the way, all the way through?
Huh?
Did you watch Hard Knocks?
Yeah.
Okay, good, because he was awesome in that.
Yeah, and then the Rams, because I love Sean McVay. He's just a Weasley wise little shenaniganizer.
Yeah, and what would be more fun than to root for Aaron Donald and Todd Gurley every week? That would be friggin' awesome. Those dudes are dope. Yeah,
and then the Bears, because I don't know how many people know, but so like I'm a Raider fan, right? Chiefs, AFC West, I know a lot about him. Matt Nagy is a cool dude, and they've got a bunch of dudes I really like. Besides Mac, everybody likes Mac, right? It's nothing to do with that.
Jackson.
It's actually Eddie Jackson.
Which, by the way, I still want to say you, out of all the podcasts and the writers and everything that I read and listen to, you're still the first person that brought to my attention Eddie Jackson and how well he was playing like 5 or 6, 7, whatever it was, weeks ago. You were the first one, so I don't know.
That dude's blowing stuff up, dude.
He got hurt.
Eddie Jackson is the real deal.
Yeah, he got hurt. I don't know if he's okay, but
no, I think he's done. I don't want to say he's done. I don't remember now because there's been a few people that had ankle injuries this week.
Yeah, he sprained ankle, and he as of today he won't practice. So
yeah, I don't know if he's going to be around. But dude, they got Akeem Hicks.
Prince of Kamara's playing well.
They got all kinds of people, dude. They got Tariq Cohen. They got Allen Robinson. They got Taylor Gabriel. They got Trey Burton.
You know how I feel about Tariq Cohen. I would trade Gronkowski for him if they'd take him.
Yeah, it's just they got a bunch of cool guys that I love watching teams that can play defense, and which is weird because the Rams I thought were going to have a really good defense. But one thing I kept telling everybody, and I've been even telling you regarding the Raiders situation, it's really hard to get 11 guys on defense that play well together the same year. That are all new, because you got to know what a guy is going to do in zone coverage or man over or whatever. And so I thought the Rams were going to be a lot better than they were defensively, and it didn't pan out.
Dude, you and I. Okay, two things. One, you and I are in lockstep on that because I always feel like it takes a full season for a defense, especially new guys coming in, to gel because it's all chemistry based. You have to trust everyone in front of you, behind you, beside you, left, right, everything. You have to have trust. And if these guys are going to do exactly what they're supposed to do, and they're going to be exactly where they're supposed to be, and if I am too, this shit is going to be nasty. But that doesn't always happen, and you're also just learning that too. And the other thing is, you know how you and I think Booger McFarland's a moron?
He's a moron, dude. Well, he either loves everybody or hates everybody, and it depends on which particular minute you catch him at.
Okay, yeah. So, on record, we don't like Booger McFarland. So apparently he'll never be a guest on our pod, but that's okay. But we couldn't get.
Well, he wouldn't be able to get his big slidey chair upstairs in my office, anyways.
That's crazy. All right, and moving on from that, but he was on Ryan Russillo's Dual Threat podcast in The Ringer a couple weeks ago. It was actually after the Rams-Chiefs Monday night game, that historic Monday night game, and he said something that stuck in my head, and it's actually one smart thing it was a one little nugget of information that was pretty smart, which I didn't really pay attention to.
Every squirrel finds a nut.
Yeah, but it was a good one. And what he said was, so I don't know if you've noticed, because we're talking about Rams still a little bit. I don't know if you, which is funny because we're supposed to be talking Chiefs Seahawks in a minute, but Marcus Peters is kind of getting torched this year, and the reason why, especially in that game, it's because he's out of position because they need him to cover up all the things that Aqib Talib was supposed to do while he was hurt. And so he was actually literally playing out of position and playing like man-to-man and stuff, and he's not that corner. So he was getting torched. And I just thought it was interesting to point out that, like, this is how much of an... Because I saw him getting lit up by New Orleans too, I think, or someone else, but he got torched a couple times, and it's like, damn, what's going on with Marcus Peters? And he's trying to play the positions that he's not supposed to play, you know what I mean? So it was just something interesting that I remembered, so...
a couple things. So remember, you were telling me all year last year, I'm going to out you to the rest of the world, all year last year how much you hated Stephon Gilmore.
Okay, no, listen. I want on record... No, hold on. I want on record to say I hated him like the first 6 weeks, and then he got hurt. He missed like a month, and then he came back, and I loved him. He just didn't know the system, and so he was playing really crappy, and he was out of position, and he didn't trust guys.
And the people. He didn't know the people he's playing with. He doesn't know. Because like if you're playing, you got to know.
Yeah, he would cover
how
the same
deep
guy.
The linebacker is going to drop in a zone, or how far over. And everybody's got to have it, right? Because it depends. You know, you take some guy who's a fast inside linebacker, and he's willing to drop further or go further side to side, whereas a guy that's slower knows that he can't recover to go back to the other side, so he won't commit as far over. So you've got to play, closer or whatever. So that's one thing.
Yeah, and
number two,
for the record,
go ahead.
Just for the record, and I when I was saying that last year, it was the first like 6. It was when we were awful last year on defense, and we started to get a little bit better towards the middle and end of the year, and then we got really bad in the Super Bowl. But we were really bad the first like 4 or 5 weeks in New England, and it was because I just got so tired of watching him and Devin McCourty cover the same guy. I'm like, what the hell, guys? But yeah, he got hurt, which caused him to just. And he wasn't like really hurt, but he was banged up, so he didn't play for like a month. And it caused him to be around all the guys practicing, learning everything without actually having to play. And so he had more time, I presume, to be like studying and watching film and all that stuff. And so I think it made him better because he's been awesome. And he's been awesome this year and all that stuff. So he's been pretty good this year. So, but yeah, so I'm not outed because I didn't hate him all year. I hated him the first like month and a half of the season. Then he got hurt. Then he got better. So,
and to go back to your little thing real quick about Marcus Peters playing out of position, that's kind of like Nnamdi Asomugha, right? He was like the Patrick Peterson of the 90s, and you could not beat him, and he shut anybody down, and then the Eagles were like, oh, we'll give you like billions of dollars to come play. But they didn't play press man coverage. They played zone. And that's like he's not a zone corner. So if you're playing something the way you're not used to playing it, because he ended up sucking for the Eagles and they cut him the next year.
Yeah.
But if you're playing a position you're not used to playing, or playing the same position but in a different way. There's some guys that aren't good at playing zone. There's some guys that aren't good at playing man, and there's some guys that can do either, but there's not many of those. But anyways, the last game.
Well, no, we haven't even talked about Chiefs Seahawks, man.
Oh, that's right, because we got one. Yeah, who cares about the last game? Wait, hold on. You took the Steelers. Okay, I took the Saints. Chiefs Seahawks.
I'm taking the Chiefs. I was going to take the Seahawks even up to last week until they got smacked by the 49ers. It's hard to play in Seattle, and I thought they were a pretty good team, but I'm not sure. I don't know what Seattle is. I could see Seattle winning this game by 10 points. I could see Chiefs winning this game by 20 points. So I don't know what to think, but I am taking the team that is probably almost assuredly better, and that is Kansas City. So I'll just say that. But I actually am excited to watch this game because Mahomes and the Chiefs in a hostile environment will be fun.
Yeah, I'm taking the Chiefs too. I don't know what's going to happen.
I want the Seahawks to win for the record, but because that helps me. But it's going to be probably Chiefs.
It doesn't help you.
Well, it did at one point. Oh no, actually, it still does because I want the Chargers to win that division, so it still does help me in my heart.
Okay, yeah, I just want the Chiefs to lose because I hate the Chiefs, but
yeah.
they're probably going to win.
I think so.
I'm taking the Chiefs.
I'm not super confident because, like I said, it's hard to win up there, and they've been pretty good all year, so you never know.
Yeah, no, I know. I agree with you 100%. I'm not sure what's going to happen because Mahomes has done really well in hostile environments, but he's also not done well just for arbitrary reasons. So I don't know. I think the Chiefs are going to win that game by like 17.
I think so too.
So I got the Chiefs. And so now we'll go to the last game that actually nobody cares about.
Broncos at Raiders, Monday Night Football, Christmas Eve. By the way, you and I are going to watch this game together. The first game of the year that we're going to watch together, which is going to be exciting because you're going to watch it, right? Let's watch it. We haven't watched it.
It will be on.
We'll watch it.
I don't know that we'll get a lot of shot to watch it because that'll be right in the middle of festivities.
Screw that. You and I are going to watch the game. We haven't watched the game together all year, and I wanted to, and when it hasn't lined up. Oh, that's not true. I'm forgetting friggin' Thanksgiving.
Yep.
So
we watched several games.
And we missed our pod that week because of it too, which is funny. So, but we're going to watch this game. It'll be fun. I'm actually excited in this game because Broncos losing Chris Harris, which sucks for them because he's awesome, and Emmanuel Sanders because he's also awesome. So in turn, that sucks too. Has made them slightly less interesting to me, but they're still kind of interesting. Phil Lindsay's kind of fallen off the last couple weeks. I think it's in part because they don't have Sanders to throw to, so like they become more one-dimensional.
Or Thomas.
Or Thomas, correct, because they traded him to Houston.
And Cortland Sutton's been injured. He's been battling a quad injury for like the last 3 weeks.
Yep, exactly. I'm taking Oakland here. It's Monday Night Football. It's Christmas Eve, and I don't trust the Broncos because they're banged up. And Oakland, I think they can beat them. And I think Derek Carr can just throw 2 touchdowns to Jared Cook, and that could be enough. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, that would have happened last week.
Yeah, seriously, because I had Jared Cook too.
Yeah, I'm picking the Raiders. I'm reverting back to my previous, if I pick them, maybe they'll lose thing. The problem the Raiders have is the left tackle is a rookie, is injured. The left guard is a guy we signed, now 3.5 weeks ago, who's played no games at all this year until we signed him. Our center is great. Our right guard is a guy we signed 2.5 weeks ago who never played a game all year. Our right tackle is an undrafted rookie who likes to do false starts. And it's funny because if you ever watch a Raider game this year, and if you want to go back and look at the right tackle, number 75, Brandon Parker, you can tell by the way his stance is when he's in his 3-point stance. You can tell what the play is, if it's a run or a pass.
That's not good.
No, it's not good. So if he's squared up and his legs are square to his shoulders and he's just in a 3-point stance, it's a run.
Yeah.
If he's got his kick step leg back already, like his right leg would be back, it's a pass. So the good tackles, they are in pass 3-point stance all the time and just know how to get off onto a run block that way. But he apparently has not learned that yet. So it's been pointed out in about 3 different games now. Hey, watch this guy. If his leg's back, it's a pass. And every damn time they're right.
Yeah, that's not good. Oh,
but anyways,
I have something to tell you about that after you're done.
Huh?
I have something to tell you about that after you're done. It's unimportant. It's just funny, and it reminded me of something. So go ahead.
Okay, and so then if you go to the backup linemen, they're all guys that have never also played games this year, and one of them is a guy who's never played a game ever in the NFL.
Yeah.
So my problem is got Bradley Chubb, got Von Miller, got Kotsis, got some other big white dude. I can't think of his name. Kotsis is the one that broke Carr's back last year when Carr was already on the ground. He jumped into him with his knee.
Yeah.
I can't remember the other guy. But anyway, so I'm picking the Raiders because I'm hoping they'll come up with some better passing schemes.
Yeah.
Or pass blocking schemes. But, whatever.
I don't know, man. I like Oakland here. I really do. That's how I feel. So you're taking Oakland as well, right?
Yeah, I'm taking Oakland.
Hey, it's almost to its merciful end for you guys, and maybe next year you'll be healthy. You won't have all the weird stuff, and maybe you'll be good. You never know, because it really could just change like that. So so a couple things real quick. Some stuff. I just gotta say something that made me laugh real quick. Apparently, someone asked Belichick today if he believes that playing at home creates such an advantage in the NFL, and if home field advantage would be important for them in the playoffs. And he said, "Yeah, I think playing well creates an advantage." So I love Bill Belichick so much, and
that's funny.
Yeah, and then the last line of the story is hard to argue with that because it's Doug Kiet of NESN. So I like that guy. He's a cool reporter. He's funny on Twitter too. Going back to what you were saying about the lineman for the Raiders, what was his name?
Which one? Oh, Brandon Parker.
Yeah, Brandon Parker. What is he?
Right tackle.
Right tackle. This is unimportant, but now that we're at the end of the show and no one's listening and no one gives a crap, I'm going to tell you. There's a dude who covers the NBA and he's like Twitter famous for it. His name is Rob Perez, Worldwide Wob, and he's begun to notice something that's happening, and it's actually a phenomenon, and the internet's kind of going crazy over it last couple days, and it's going to continue, I think. Apparently, every time LeBron James dribbles and looks down at the ball, right before he shoots a three, he makes them. Every time this year. And at least the ones that they've all gone back to look for and find. And anytime he doesn't look at the ball before he shoots a three, he misses it. And it's just really funny. And it's just weird because, like, he's just looking at it and then up. And then, you know how you dribble and you look at it real quick before, like, while playing horse, and then you, like, do that?
Well, so the funny thing is, right?
It's just funny. It's just a weird phenomenon that's happening.
Yeah, the funny thing is a lot of guys need they're not really laces, but need the laces of the ball in like a real precise spot.
Yeah.
And so you can dribble. I played many basketball games in my life. You can dribble the ball and just feel, huh?
I said humble brag.
I didn't say I won them. I just said I played them. So, but you can get a feel for where the laces, quote unquote, are as you're dribbling the ball, and he's played way more than I've ever played, right? So he knows where they are, but sometimes it feels a little weird, and so looking down gives you like a comfort level of, oh, that's right how I want it, and you go boink, perfect, and you shoot.
Yeah. It's just weird because he's noticing it this year, and it's not something that's ever been happening before. And if you know anything, you know that LeBron James in every aspect of everything has been under the microscope by everybody for 16 to 18 years now, going back to when he was like 16 years old in high school. So it was just something funny that made me think of that. It's like, it's something weird that's happening right now in sports that's like a thing. It's not like a giveaway like the whole right tackle thing is, which that's just not good. And obviously those D linemen and those linebackers watching film, when they see that, they're like, okay, I see what's going on. Every time this dude does this.
But that's the funny thing about that whole situation is that based on what he was doing, the guy that was commentating the game, I'm trying to think of who it was. It was this past week was the last time I heard it. But
and he's
like, I don't know why they're not, like, if it's a run, you as a defensive lineman, you're completely different than as than if it's a pass, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I don't know why they're not picking up on that. He goes, that's something that, he goes, I'm just sitting here watching from the booth, and I can tell that every single time he does that, it's Chris Spielman. He goes, every time he does that, it's a pass.
Well,
and when he does this, it's a run.
Don't worry, because I can't say for sure who are the Raiders playing this week?
Broncos.
I don't know for sure about them, but I know that there are teams, and probably most teams, that when they watch film, they actually also watch broadcasts. In addition to a coach's film and 22 and all that, or all 22 and all that, because there's stuff like that gets called out. So if Broncos are doing their homework, Carr might take some hits. So
he's already been taking hits.
Oh, no,
he's
but
being
I'm just
sacked.
saying
He's been sacked already more times this year than he was sacked the previous 2 years.
Wow, that's impressive. So
yeah, he was sacked.
He didn't get hit that much last year, though, did he?
Well, he got sacked like 17 times last year, like 18 times last year and 12 the year before, and this year he's already been sacked like 48 times.
I want to look at.
He has the highest. Yeah, it's 36 to 2 years prior and 48 so far this year.
47.
47 so far this year. He's been sacked. He's been under pressure 23.7% of the pass attempts this year. He's been under pressure in either hit or sacked.
So that's not good at all.
No.
Since we're still going here for a minute, and I don't give a shit. We can keep going. Who do you think are the top 5 guys who have been sacked the most this year without looking?
Top 5 guys without looking.
That have been sacked the most.
Well, Deshaun Watson has been sacked the most.
Yep, 52.
I'm pretty sure.
But only. Oh, you're correct. But only by one. Who's second?
Brady?
No, Brady's actually. I'm looking.
Okay, then I'm gonna go with
Brady's 28.
Andrew Luck.
28th, baby. Andrew Luck. No, Andrew Luck is going to be even lower than Brady. And Brady was 28. Luck's 32nd.
Damn, Gina.
Well, they've had a good offensive line this year. I'm telling you, that's part of the reason they're winning is because they had a good offensive line. The Colts.
Okay, so let me think for a second.
Yeah.
Let me think really. So we got Deshaun Watson. We know Deshaun Watson. We know Derek Carr's got to be in there.
Derek Carr's number 3. He's 5 less at 47, like we had previously discussed, than Watson. So Derek Carr's number 3.
Who's number 2? It's got to be one of the rookies then.
It's not. A rookie isn't in the top 5.
Shut the front door.
Yep.
Okay, so I don't have any idea then.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, Russell Wilson's going to be in the top 5.
He's 6th, but he's only 2 away from. See, you're close. It's a guy.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers is 5th. Do you want to keep guessing, or do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, I'll guess a couple more.
So let me just recap. So you got Watson, who's 1st. You got Carr, who's 3rd, and you have Rodgers, who's 5th. So you're looking for number 2 and number 4. And
they're not a rookie.
Not a rookie, and Russell Wilson is 6th. And I'll give you a hint to number 2, who's 1 less than Watson. He's kind of like playstyle Watson and Wilson. That's your hint.
Oh, Newton.
Nope. Newton is 15th.
What the hell?
Come on,
is it famous Jameis?
Nope. Well, no, also because he hasn't played enough. But Winston.
That's true. That's right. Fitzpatrick played a bunch of those games.
Yeah, Winston's 23rd, but he probably would be closer if he'd played more.
I don't know.
Dak Prescott is 2nd.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because they've had a banged-up line all year because Travis
Travis Frederick and Zach Martin and all those guys have either been out or are out or have been out enough that it's been a jumble.
Who guess number 4 real quick? Right.
Case Keenum.
Nope. You can do this. This is great podcast work, by the way. We're
Phillip Rivers?
No. Where is Phillip Rivers? He's 16th. Tied 16th with Tannehill for 28 sacks.
Matt Ryan?
Nope. Matt Ryan is 7th, tied with Mariota for 40.
Shiesties.
Which is crazy because I don't even think Mariota played all the games yet either.
Goff.
No, Goff is 14th. You want me to just tell you number 4?
Yeah, because eventually I'm going to name every starting quarterback and you'll have to... Oh, Kirk Cousins, maybe.
Nope, Cousins is 11th.
Alex Smith.
Stop guessing if you want me to tell you. Alex Smith is 24th because he has also not played the last few games.
All right, go ahead.
It's Eli.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's Deshaun Watson is number 1. Dak Prescott 2, Derek Carr 3, Eli 4, Rodgers 5, Russell Wilson 6, Matt Ryan 7th, tied at 7 is Marcus Mariota. Matt Stafford is 9th, and Josh Rosen rounds out number 10.
I'm getting the feeling that Deshaun's is kind of misleading, though, because I think his is he scrambles.
Yeah, and
he'll end up just kind of like running out of bounds just behind the line of scrimmage.
Which is stupid because it counts as, I think,
it counts as a sack, and the nearest defensive player gets credit for the sack.
That's total bullshit, in my opinion. That's totally stupid. But, what's it called? Yeah, but Josh Rosen, who would have thought? The only rookie in there to be out of the top 10 most sacked this year. And for the record, the rookies...
Well, Darnold's only played like half the year. Maybe a little more than half. He missed a few games.
Right, so for the record, I want to go through those. So because we're still recording, which is funny. Josh Rosen is 10th with 35 sacked 35 times. Let's see here. Josh Allen is 18th. He's been sacked 27 times, but he also runs a bunch.
Missed a bunch of games.
No, he only missed. Oh, he did miss a few. He did.
He missed like 3 or 4.
Yeah, and he also didn't start. Well, he played. I think he played in every game up until he got hurt because he didn't start, but he played in like the first couple games when they got destroyed by like the Chargers and everything, or the Ravens or whoever it was. Baker Mayfield is 20th, only sacked 25 times. Darnold's 22nd. He missed some games though. He'd be higher up. Trubisky's 25th.
He missed some games.
Yeah. So Drew Brees is 34th. He's only been sacked 15 times. Not bad at all. Lamar Jackson's 39th, but he hasn't played that much. Yeah, so Andrew Luck, 32nd. Oh, I already said this. 32nd. He's only been sacked 16 times. So, Tom Brady, 28th. He's been sacked 19 times. So, yeah. But that's just a little interesting. So, I wouldn't have expected those 5 guys to be in it. Carr and Eli make sense, and Watson because for the first 3 weeks at least, when they just kept getting their asses kicked, like New England sacked him like 4 times, I think, alone week 1, and New England's not a good pass rush team at all, but they destroyed that offensive line week 1. So, yeah. So I guess that's it for the 108.1 FNFB podcast. We extended it by 12 minutes talking about sacks and stuff and just guessing into the ether. When if anyone listening to this could have literally Googled it and then shut us off, that would have worked. But hey, you got to guess. You got to hear us or hear Mike guess and me. Just
tell him he was wrong.
Ramble on. So, yeah, that is it for this episode of the 108.1 FNFB podcast. This was fun. One more week of regular season football, and then we will be doing playoff podcasts too. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Let's wrap her up.
Toodaloo.